Hello and welcome to a brand new format of Do More with Less. We are twinning our monthly interviews with marketing leaders with shorter, snappier, punchier webinar sessions. Also with marketing leaders talking about do more with less in the real life. So real life stories of do more with less. I am absolutely delighted to have a friend of mine, Alice Wyatt, who is here with me sitting in Austin, Texas. Alice, we met 2 or 3 years ago at an event talking about how CMOs and marketing leaders should take the step to become non-exec directors. And we've kept in touch a little bit ever since. You've just moved to Austin, Texas from New York City.
That's right.
You've been 3 years with Kodak, and I noticed that you were named in a list recently of the 30 most influential marketers in fintech. How did you get that?
Terribly, terribly important. I believe I was nominated, which is very kind. And there's a panel of judges, and maybe it's because my name starts with an A. I was just top of the list.
That's rubbish. Did you feel like you deserved it? Was it validation for some amazing work that you've been doing?
It was really nice. I think you never really know how you're doing. You have a bit of a gut feel, but very nice to have your name officially on a list. I sent it to my mum. She was proud.
Yeah, I did the same with Boring to Brave when I wrote the book.
Nice.
She actually, mum, bless her, entirely accidentally, bought 3 copies off Amazon. So that week I was rolling in it.
Nice.
So I'm Mark Choueke, author of Boring to Brave. And as you may know, if you've been following Do More with Less, we've been looking to find out from marketing leaders at every level across every industry what it is that would make up the perfect playbook for doing our work in an era of doing more with less. That's the instruction that's coming down from on high. That's what we're dealing with. That's the almost culturally embedded instruction now that we are all guided by. And it is an absolute, it's a new world. And so this new format, starting with Alice, and thank you for your time, is going to be real life stories. It's going to be practical tips. It's going to be experiences. So Alice, let me put the question to you that we've discussed. Give me an example, if you would, of how you've seen, or indeed you've personally changed, a challenge into a success story by doing more with less.
Okay. It's a great question. And when I got your LinkedIn message about the theme of your podcast, I was excited to talk to you because it really aligns with my philosophy of trying to strip back and trying to create focus and therefore more output. So I think, first of all, I'm super happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm pleased we met on that conference day in a grey London a couple of years ago. So when I was reflecting on this question, there are a few examples I've got, but I thought I'd go like proper real in my answer. So an example that I thought I'd get really real, I talk about when the wind changed in tech, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And like every other tech company around, we had to make some difficult choices, and scale back the team. And that was a really interesting challenge for me as a marketing leader. I'd come in and was so excited to build a team of real domain experts. We had an incredible team of product marketers, a big BDR/SDR squad. We even had a researcher who came and did amazing research to fuel our content engine. And we really had what I felt like was the Avengers assembled, like the team we needed to scale. And
you came in as head of global demand, but I think within 6 months or something crazy, you were VP of marketing, right?
Yes. That's true.
Did you on that bit as well?
I told my mum, yeah, I always text her my wins. No, that was actually really exciting. I think it was big for Kodak to really invest in marketing and see the power of marketing to drive revenue. So it was exciting for me and for the founders, I think.
Right. So the backdrop to this story you're telling is that initially, the company believed in marketing, was ready to invest in growth.
Yeah, I think they were ready to go. And they were really keen to find someone that didn't create marketing in a silo, but it was part of a commercial org and it was focused on driving revenue and real results. And so they gave me a lot of freedom to build the team I guess, for the future. So super exciting remit for me in a company that just received Series C funding, 100 million, and really, really great founders. So very exciting remit. And for 6 months, we were rocking and rolling. And then, I had to make some really, really difficult decisions.
What was the factor behind that big sudden drop? Was it, are we talking COVID? What are we talking?
Post-COVID, really just the market dynamics, especially in fintech. Lots of companies had received lots of funding. Funding was tightening up. People were getting more cautious. The buyers were more cautious. And so
it happened very suddenly to fintech, did it?
Yeah, it was pretty sudden. So it was and Kodak were just very thoughtful about growth. Had to go down that route, sadly.
Sorry, Alice, before we
go
get
ahead
to the part where you tell me how the numbers and the success and the sort of the tail end of the story, how you manage. How were you feeling at the time? You'd come in on a wave of belief in marketing, and you had some personal success. You went through a couple of promotions very quickly. You assembled these Avengers. On the day that you were able to digest the information, there's going to be cuts, there's going to be some layoffs, probably there's some reduction. It's happening across the board. It's not just us. What was your immediate reflection, and how were you that day?
Honestly, I felt sick for probably 2 weeks. I felt really personally responsible for bringing in my friends to the company and building this unified team. Yeah, I felt deeply sad.
Sometimes that fuels a determination to make the best of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
So how did the next year or so go?
So what we decided to do as a team, we realized that it wasn't skill set that was going to get us through to drive real results with less. It was mindset. And we re-rallied the smaller group of Avengers and committed as a team. What is our ethos? And our ethos was around being incredibly supportive to the rest of the teams and being united, not just as a marketing function on our productive island, but as a commercial org. So we really tried to make people feel as though even if they were going to have to stretch their skill set, we backed them because they had the right mindset. So I think that was the foundational layer that we set.
Did you have what was your there's a job to do as soon as cuts are made, and I think as marketers of a certain generation, we've all been through it, right? We've been through it several times. I know I have. There's a job to do for the people that have to leave, right? There's also a big job to do for those that kind of are that remain after, in terms of motivation, in terms of belief, in terms of confidence, in terms of shell shock. I guess that kind of mindset, not skill set take was a helpful tool in turning what might have been a depleted set of Avengers into something with a bit more belief and go.
Yeah, I think so. And it definitely didn't happen overnight. I think I felt I had to rebuild the trust of my team and make them feel really safe. And that takes a lot of time, and it takes people in the team stepping up and reassuring their peers and like really supporting me to lead and like move forwards. But it took a long time.
You've been at Bloomreach for 4 years in your previous career history. Mm-hmm. You've been at Adyen. After these cuts were made at in your job in your very senior leadership job at Kodak, you then were with the company, have been with the company for a further 2 years. How's it been when we talk about doing more with less? Has it opened your eyes to a different way of marketing, for example? As in, I now know how I can grab more results, more impact, more energy from a smaller resource, and that gives me confidence for the future. Like, what's been your reflection on doing more with less?
Yeah, 100%. It's been extremely empowering, I would say. And I think there's a few things that I realized. So we reset the team. We then actually changed the company commercial strategy to focus on fewer accounts that we were going after and create cross-functional go-to-market teams. So we had pods, so to speak. And we had a BDR in the pod, we had a product marketer, a salesperson, and they were a crew that had shared accountability for a target account list. So what we did is we actually just cut loads of the noise of what we were doing, the busy work, the mass emailing, and we went super, super focused. We even, which is crazy, marketers gasp, we even turned off pretty much inbound. So we basically auto-rejected 90% of our inbound because it actually made us feel good in marketing that people found out about us, but was vanity metrics because they weren't converting. We knew exactly who we were going after. So this process was an incredible learning for me. It was realizing that not only if we have fewer people, we need to be much, much more focused. And I think something that allowed us to work was the shared accountability, the shared goals. These people were a team. They got their own swag. We had everyone got to choose their pod logo, and it really fostered the sense of like, we all win and we lose together. And that, like, really talking tactics, we would have our target account, every persona we were going after in the target account. And every week that pod would meet and discuss action items to move them all forwards. And it was a proper team sport. And realizing that, and it sounds cheesy, but now I'm obviously American, it's fine. Like, we were winning and losing as a team, and it felt really good. And it really, really helped to drive momentum. I think a downside we weren't aware of from leadership before is actually then there became interpods, kind of, that was the rivalry. But better that than every single individual team, and it actually motivated, and there was a kind of a competitive spirit to it. So it was really, really great learning for me.
So, Alice, I hope we're not giving too much away, but in an already incredible career of high level success, you're about to make a move into being a consultant serving B2B brands across, I'm assuming, the States, but elsewhere in your new home of Austin, Texas. But having just about got to the end with Kodat of your time, how would you describe now because this is for leaders we're talking. I want to be able to give this to leaders and give them some optimism, reasons for hope, reasons for, smiling. How would you describe the mindset, the mood, the motivation of your current marketing team that on that terrible day were kind of left behind to pick up the pieces, but now have been part of this super focused, super energized team effort to do more with less? How would you describe their marketing experience? Has anyone sort of fed back to you, or has there been reason for them to sort of communicate to you just how much they've got out of it? Has it been worth it for them?
I think it's so clear to observe the team operating. They are unbelievably autonomous. They have great confidence in their ability to pick stuff up. Every quarter, what we would do, we were super, super agile. Like, agility was the thing that we needed as a skill set. And I think is like one of the most important things we need in a modern marketer. And this team, every quarter, we sat down with leadership and we said, what's the greatest concern or problem or blocker or growth potential place in the business? And one quarter, it was customer marketing, which we'd never done before. And we're like, right, team, forget top of funnel pipeline. We are customer marketers. And people took new titles. We upskilled ourselves and they went for it. And I think that was just one example of one quarter. Another was like helping drive adoption in our customers. So the team, I think, have real confidence now that any challenge gets thrown at them, they can figure it out with the right mindset and that sense of togetherness. And I think it's super, super clear just observing the way that the marketing team operate as kind of one organism.
Alice, it's been amazing to talk to you. You're clearly now absolutely embedded as one of my marketing heroes in the era of do more with less. I would summarize by saying when less is forced upon you against any ounce of control that you have, there's certainly a temptation to look at skill sets and who you might need in order to carry on the strategy of yesterday. But where you guys got your mojo from was to think about mindset and to think about people and team and make some really hard decisions about what to leave out, certain top of funnel, inbound, all of those marketing legacy contributors, and go, where are we actually going to win? How can I vitalize and energize my team and bring them all together to the points where we're going to make a success of this? And how can we be most useful to the organization? So I absolutely love it. So if there are any leaders listening to this, hit up Alice. In the future, she's going to be available to all B2B marketing businesses and brands. Alice, keep in touch with us. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for giving us the time.
Thank you, Mark.